Welcome to Gayle Jann Yoga. I'm Gayle, and this practice is about gaining more range of motion, more shoulder mobility. So we can start just by stretching up through your right side, then the left side, and back and forth, just like you would stretch when you were waking up. Then bring your hands to your shoulders and start to rotate the shoulders, the elbows, moving them up and out and back and down and forward. And interlace your fingers behind your back and come onto your fingertips. Lift up through your chest and then reclasp your hands, bow forward, reaching your arms up and trying to reach them forward. Then come back. We're going to start to do shoulder circles. So the arms are going to move in opposite directions. What you want to do is rotate your upper body as you move one arm back, rotate your body in that direction. Nice and smoothly. Start off slow and reverse the direction of the arms. So what I've found is you rotate, you twist first and let the arms follow the rotation. And then just roll your shoulders, shrugging them up, back, forward, and reverse in that direction. Just trying to find as much movement as possible in the shoulders. And then we're going to do some shoulder flossing. So reach your arms up over your head, so your arms are in line with your ears. And then you're going to reach up through your fingertips and pull the shoulders back. And then we'll do it at a 45-degree angles. So basically we're protracting, reaching forward, and retracting the shoulders, reaching back. Just trying to find that range of motion, gliding back and forth as easily as possible. And then bring your arms more or less parallel to the floor, and you'll feel that you have more range of motion in this plane than the other two. Good, and let's come onto our hands and knees, onto our forearms, and we'll do some cat-cows here. So as you inhale, pull the chest forward. As you exhale, round the back. So we don't have as much range of motion here as when we're on our hands and knees. Now we're going to do even less range of motion. So come on into like a child's pose position and just see how much movement you can get in the spine and in the shoulders. Just letting your breath lead the way. And we'll come into tabletop and begin to do some gentle twists. So moving the ribs and then the shoulders, and finally the arms reach up. So not leading with the hands, but leading with the core. And then come back into your tabletop. And we're going to go to the wall. So bring your hands to the wall. You want your hands about shoulder width apart. Hands straight up the wall, and push into your hands. And work on getting your chest close to the wall. Now, the lower your hands are down the wall, the more difficult it's going to be, and you want to be really careful of your lower back. Like sometimes I've worked too hard at this and actually felt a little soreness in my low back. So be patient. You just want to get to a place where you feel a stretch. Hold the stretch for a little bit and then back out, swing the shoulders out. And now we're going to do one shoulder at a time. So you want your elbow about shoulder height or a little higher, your hand above the elbow, and you press into your hand, press into your forearm, and start to turn away from your hand in the wall. Keep your ribs in. So I'm placing my hands on my ribs to remind me to keep them in, not projecting out. And then we'll switch sides. So form against the wall, push into your hands and your elbows. Keep those ribs back and turn away from the wall. Just listening to your body going as far as is a little bit uncomfortable, but nothing painful. And then release, and we're going to come back to our mats. And now we'll take our blocks and do some tricep stretching. So start with your blocks on the lowest height together. Bring your elbows to the middle of the blocks, no wider than shoulder width apart. This is very important. Keep the elbows hugging in. Reach your hips back. And I like to bring my head behind the blocks and just let my upper back release toward the floor. So keep the arms active, keep the elbows hugging in. If the elbows start to slide out, it could not feel good on your shoulders, maybe even hurt your shoulders. And then you can just stretch out your hands, release the stretch in the shoulder. Just do something that feels really nice and easy and comfortable. And we're going to start raising the blocks to the next height. So same thing here. Place your elbows on the blocks, walk your knees back, let your chest release toward the floor. Don't force anything, just try and relax into this stretch. You can adjust the position of your knees and your hips. Hands clasped together, and you can try bringing your hands back by the back of your head or leaving them lifted a little bit. And slowly come on out. Again, just rest the arms. You can rest your forearms on the blocks. You can move your ribs side to side. And now we'll bring the blocks up to the highest height. Now you don't have to go to this height, so if the lower heights were enough for you, and stay on the lower height. Otherwise, come up to the higher height, and now you have a little more room to open up the back and the back of the shoulders, the triceps a little bit more. And you can see here I'm moving in and out of the stretch a little bit. So not trying to just keep going further, but stretch and release, working with the breath. And move your blocks out of the way. Come into an extended child's pose with the arms forward, hips resting on your heels. Let your forehead relax on the mat. Let your whole back and shoulders relax. We've just done all this stretching. Now we're relaxing them. And then we'll do cat-cow with child's pose. So from child's pose, inhale, round your back and come forward. And exhale, arch your spine and stretch back. And then we'll stretch back into our downward facing dog, keeping the arms active, hugging the forearms in, and keeping an external rotation on the shoulders, meaning the triceps moving back. And now we're doing a little shoulder flossing in down dog. So you can see that I'm trying to not move up and down at all, but glide my shoulders in the direction of my arms and my hands. So it's like a diagonal movement. This might take a little practice. And now we're going to do some strength work on the shoulders. So remember to keep your shoulder back. So you don't want it rounded forward. You want it back. We're going to come into a side plank. So we'll start in down dog and roll into the outside edge of your left foot. Keep your left shoulder back and reach your right arm over your head. Lifting the hips, maybe opening your chest a little bit more toward the sky. Really pressing down into those feet, trying to get the sole of your foot on the floor. And we'll come back through down dog and switch sides. So keep that left shoulder back. Reach the right arm up and overhead. Push into your feet, lift up through the hips, lift, lift, lift. Breathe. And slowly lower the arms, roll back into your down dog and come back onto your hands and knees. And release your fingers behind your back again. Switch your hands back and bow over your legs, reaching your arms up and forward again. And you can stretch your arms from side to side, getting a nice stretch on the front of the shoulders. And then we're going to take our straps. So find a strap, come to a seated position, and you're going to figure out how wide you need to be holding the strap. So you want it wide enough that you can easily move the strap behind you, and you want to try and make both shoulders even. Keep lifting up through the crown of your head. So don't let your chin come forward. Don't tuck your head and don't duck under the strap. Make the strap as wide as you need. So it might be a lot wider than what you're seeing me with here. And some of you might be able to be a little bit shorter. So I just showed you like bowing the head forward. That's not what we want. Keep the head lifted. Move the arms up and back. And then pull with your right hand and stretch your left hand behind your head and across. And pull over with the left hand and stretch the right hand behind you, right arm behind you. And just go back and forth a couple more times. Nice and slowly. And then we're going to kind of rotate the strap around in circles. So you're switching hands that are on top, keeping some tension on the strap. Nice gentle stretch. And reverse the direction. So your torso leads the way, the arms follow. This feels really good on the shoulders. And then just kind of roll the shoulders out. Just make everything kind of loosey-goosey. Roll out the shoulders. Reach your arms over your head, cross the wrists, and then swing your arms up, crossing the wrists. Just nice and graceful. Moving the shoulders out to the sides. And then come into a cactus position. And press your forearms forward, matching your forearms, palms, and elbows, and then open them out behind you. And then wrap the arms in eagle arms. Reach up, cactus arms, eagle arms, cactus arms. Exhale into eagle arms. Inhale, cactus arms. Exhale, eagle. Inhale. And reach your left arm, elbow up, your hand behind your head, and maybe reach your right arm behind you. Maybe bow forward or stay upright. Try and keep that right shoulder back. And do the best you can do with that movement. Release your hands, place your left hand on the floor. And then switch to the other side, right hand on the floor, reach your left arm across. And back to center, again, roll out the shoulders. And we'll do the cactus and eagle arms a couple more times. So exhaling into the eagle arms, inhaling open into cactus. And we're going to do one more thing with the strap. So place the strap underneath the top of your feet. You want to be about in the middle of the strap. And then you're going to hold the strap in your hands with, if you have the palm of the hand facing up, and you place the strap between your thumb and your forefinger. So the end of the strap is forward. Start with holding the straps about shoulder height. Keep the elbows moving in as you bring your elbows up by your ears. And to get more stretch, you can push your hands behind your back, creating a little bit of space between your hands and your back. See how that feels for you. So again, don't force anything. Just kind of play here, seeing if you can get a little bit of deeper stretch. And if it feels like you want a little more, you can work your hands down the strap a little bit, and then press back. Chest presses forward, arms reach back. And you can release the strap, move it off to the side. Roll the shoulders again. Just be playful here. And then we're going to come back onto our bellies. We're going to do a this is a deep stretch. So reach your left arm out to the side about shoulder height. Your palm can be facing up or down. I have my palm facing up here. And then you want to try and roll towards your back. Now here in the video, I'm showing clasping my right hand with my left hand. That may not be accessible to you. It doesn't matter. And most likely you won't get all the way rolled onto your hips. So you can be rolled onto your side. So you don't want to force this because your arm is being held by the floor and is not going to move. So you don't want to hurt your shoulder in an effort to open it. That would be kind of silly, wouldn't it? A little counterproductive. And we're going to switch sides. So open your right arm out to the side. You can roll to your side, maybe reach your left arm behind you, find the right hand, maybe come onto your hips, maybe stay on your side. I like to have the block underneath my head. It feels a lot better on my neck. Some people don't use a block, but whenever I don't use a block, it doesn't feel good to me. So use a block if you want, use a pillow, use a bolster, whatever feels good. And slowly come on out. Roll out the shoulders again, just kind of shake them out, whatever way feels good. And release your fingers behind your back again, stretch out. Reach your left arm across, hook your right arm underneath the left arm, stretch out the back of the shoulders, do it both sides. I guess I was moving a little bit fast here. Then come back into your child's pose. And we're going to stay in child's pose for several breaths. Coming back to where we started, just letting everything relax. Relax those shoulders now. And then we'll come up to seated. Cross your ankles. And just take time for a short meditation to focus on your breath. Noticing how you feel with the shoulders being more open, more relaxed. When our shoulders are more open, we can actually breathe more easily because the whole front of the chest will be open and not so constricted. We want the shoulders to relax downward. So we're not forcing them downward, we're just letting them ease downward away from the ears. Feeling the breath move in and out of our bodies, feeling the lift of the chest, expansion of the belly. You can stay here as long as you like. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.